Hello everybody, welcome back to FIFA 22 Predicts. Of course, I've already predicted my predictions for Matchday 22. Let's see what FIFA's predicting. Okay. I'm just about nearly 100% again. But well enough to do this stream. So, I'm happy to be back. 5 of you here already. Amazing stuff. NFC Owen, welcome. You know what, if you can still do your homework, you'll be a king, because I cannot, for the life of me, have other things going on. I'm very, very distracted a lot of the time with that. Charlie, welcome to the stream. Right. Let's get already started with this. So, obviously, as you can see, with the subscriber goal, we're still on 831 subs. I've checked the analytics very, very recently, actually, in case you wanted to know how this channel's doing. We've gained 8 subs in 29 days, I think it is. So if I could do the average right, that is 1 subscriber in nearly 4 days. So the rate has really dramatically dropped. So, I think a lot of it is down to me not uploading as much. I think it's because, I've been ill. So I've not been uploading as much, but at the same time, a lot of it is down to work as well. But what I will say on that, after next week when exams are over, I should have a lot more free time. The only thing I'll have to do over the holidays is a project. And apart from that, there's literally no excuse. I can have all the time in the world. So the opportunity is great after next week, basically, but I am regrettably not posting as much. In fact, I've got to change these settings before I forget. So I actually want 4 minutes, legendary, and I'm going to change the camera to telebroadcast here. Okay. China Brown's talking about the FA Cup, saying they got West Ham away. That's a really good tie, actually. So I won't lie, a lot of the ties in the third round, whilst they were great for non-league clubs, there wasn't anything big, substantial with, big teams. Right, so the first match today we've got to predict is Huddersfield against Coventry. Yeah, so what I mean by that is that pretty much apart from West Ham, Leeds and Man United and Aston Villa, we've not really had any big ties from, you would say, from the top Premier League teams. A lot of the bigger teams, I would say, have gone up against teams from low down. So Chelsea, of course, have got Chesterfield leading the way in the National League. Man City have got Swindon Town away. Maybe Arsenal have got a tough game against Forest. You know what Forest did to them last time they were in the City ground, of course. They tend to always get Forest in the not just the Carabao Cup, but the FA Cup as well, Arsenal. I'm sure there's more. Liverpool, who do they have? Do they have Shrewsbury, Liverpool? I think they've got Shrewsbury. So, overall, the ties were pretty favourable for, the very competitive teams, I guess. Yeah, I did see that, Charlie. That was a bit humorous, I won't lie. That Brentford fan saying that you've got Port Vale away. Yes, yeah, that's right. Port Vale have got Brentford. Also, Forest could be an upset. Yeah, it could be. It could be, based on how poor Arsenal were very recently. I did watch their game against Everton yesterday. I'm going to need a lot of water today. Yeah, I do see, Owen. I'm not having too many thoughts on it, really, to be honest. I am a very competitive guy, but it is something that is just part of my nature now, and whatever happens, happens. You can literally have one bad weekend and do more than enough to, get ahead, within 1 week. So it is very much a marathon, not a sprint, which is why I'm not taking too much pride in the placement I'm in at the moment. I'm very much more taking account to where I am sitting, within 5 or 6 game weeks left rather than 23, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I'm probably not feeling too nonplussed about it at the moment, but that's because, we've still got a lot of this season left to go. You have 2 consecutive matches against West Ham. Well, judging from my recent experience with West Ham, that's not very nice for you guys. I mean, I remember you had a really good game against West Ham, actually, but then West Ham got a late winner. Your prediction skills coming back to me? Yes, you are getting more predictions right. I have noticed that. I think you and Joshua Frood have started to get more predictions right and close the gap on me, which is a little bit scary, but naturally, that's going to be good for the league, isn't it? Blue Cheese, welcome to the stream. If you are a new viewer, everyone do make sure you do give Blue Cheese a warm welcome around here. So, what we're doing today, I mean, we would do this on the Monday, but following a medical and family emergency, we had to push the stream to today. So, obviously, we've got 12 games for FIFA to predict. The first one is the early Saturday kickoff, Huddersfield and Coventry. So, how we're going to do is that we're going to have an early Saturday kickoff, then 10 3 o'clock games, and then the 12th and final game will actually be played on the Monday rather than the Sunday. It's worked again on the top at slow 8 because we have 24 games left. Plus, will the playoffs count for the prediction league? I might do something different with the playoffs, Owen. I've still not thought about that. I'm still even trying to remember what Ben did. I actually don't think Ben actually did anything with the playoffs, actually. I think he just predicted it for fun. Oh, you're Jelly Bean. Oh, so you're on a different account. Oh, fair enough. Yeah, that makes sense. Right, it's half-time whistle, so Huddersfield and Coventry is currently 0-0. When do I finish uni for the Christmas period? Next Friday. Next Friday is also when I've got my final exam as well. So it'll be next Friday. So pretty much the day before match day 23 is played, which will be the halfway stage of the season already, which will be absolutely crazy to think about. I'm just double checking that things are going well here. So it looks like my Discord has actually done everything I needed to do and tell me that I'm streaming live. There we go. Yeah, I mean, right now, I have noticed that the top two have been slowing down a little bit, but once again, I'm still not really thinking about I'm going to catch them overnight. It is, once again, a very long process, and they could have an incredible game week next week, and we could completely not do as well, and then all of a sudden, it looks like that they've got a huge gap again. You finish on the 22nd, but go back on the 10th. That's interesting. So, I can't even think when I go back. So, I finish 17th. And I go back on I think the last week of January, if I'm right in saying. But I've got a full month to try and do a project, which is going to be the only bit of work I'm going to have to... we'll take away my tutoring as well. Although, to be fair, that's actually got a Christmas break as well coming up, which is good. OTR Plays, welcome to the stream. Just think 5 to 6 months you'll be done for uni. Yeah, that's crazy. This is what I keep telling Carl and Jack, and it's not quite sucked in. I have problems with my headphones, so I can't hear well. Oh, don't worry, man. Thank you for turning up here today. Yeah, I was going to say, it's not a really long break for you to have, Owen. I mean, unless you are at a higher year in school and, they need to be teaching you stuff for GCSEs and stuff, but I never thought of a break being that short. Someone's just subscribed to the channel. Thank you guys so much. Well, thank you to whoever's just subscribed to the channel. We're on 832 now in terms of subscribers, so I can't do the maths. But 168 away from 1,000 subscribers. Now, an update on the six-a-side game. I have been told that the clips are being edited now as we speak. So, whilst I am able to claim all those clips, I will be able to show them to you guys. But it is only at a reward if we get to 1,000 subscribers, because right now, there's a small part of me that doesn't really want to show you guys, how well or bad I play at football. But I just think it will be something refreshing for you guys to see, and it will be a good way to say thank you as well. Right, Huddersfield are trying to plough forward, but they're not really having too much fortune right now. It's well defended. Coventry clear out. Pass out from the back, but they do well here. What's the situation with your uni? Has it been online or in person? It's been both. There's been a really interesting development there. So, pretty much, there's been a conflict of interest in terms of the examination boards and the universities of how they're going to set the exams, whether it's on person or online. The exams by default have had to be online because we still have students who do go online, and we can't tailor the exam for other students to be more privileged than others. So by default, as a result of all these people going online, everyone has to do it online, but in a way it is not as effectively and it's not as strict as it is with face-to-face exams. And it has been interesting. Wow, what a strike! What a strike. Coventry had taken the lead in the 88th minute, and it's Callum O'Hare with the goal. Disappointment for Coventry against West Brom last week, but this will be a good way to try and get back into the top 6. A great win against Huddersfield. 1-0 Coventry. James Macy, welcome to the stream. Predictions will probably be hard for about 3 game weeks, as it's also unpredictable over the Christmas break. It is very difficult over that time, especially where there's more games being released, at a more consistent rate. Great strike. Definitely teams will fatigue more than others. Some may perform well as others. Some will probably feeling a little bit sluggish. That could pretty much describe QPR's performance against Stoke City, for instance. So, over the Christmas time, it's tricky. What I sometimes feel the international break does, it kind of resets the teams. Right, that's the full-time whistle, so Coventry pick up a crucial 1-0 away win. In general, it's difficult to predict. I was even thinking back to the 2 correct scores I got this weekend. Both could have, been preventable. For instance, with Forest's one, if Siriki Dembele knew how to hit the goal on target and not hit the post, that would have not been my correct score. Also, with Reading and Hull, if the Reading goalkeeper didn't have as much of a howler, I would not have got that right at all. If anything, I would have got 0 points there. So, a lot of things have to go your way. So, it's not only just predicting, it's luck as well. And there's a lot of time where luck goes against us, but there's a lot of time that luck goes for you. And those 2 correct games were 2 examples of luck going my way. If it's school starts I finish for Christmas on the 19th and start again to the end of January. I finish 17th. I mean, and the 19th is going to be... The 19th will be a Sunday, so potentially, the same week as well. I'm going to Bournemouth and Blackburn. I think 3-1 to Bournemouth. Anthony Solanke to get 2. And Diaz for Blackburn. That's an interesting prediction. That should be a really good game, actually, because it's both teams in really, I wouldn't say strong forms. You wouldn't argue Bournemouth being in their strongest form. But with Blackburn, for how good they've done with their form, they've at least made this game very competitive. If it is at Vitality, then maybe Bournemouth will have the difference. But Blackburn will definitely give them a game. Aim will be stronger recently with predictions. I'm going to do home and predict for myself in the best possible position to head to the second half of the season. Yeah, well, predictions, everyone just goes for a really tough stage. I went through a tough stage with predictions, and then sometimes, the best thing to do is actually not to research that much. Sometimes by looking at the performances on paper and what teams they could face out, sometimes you've got to predict from there. Forest play also in the FA Cup, that's right. So obviously Forest got a miracle win against Arsenal before, but I think Arsenal played against them quite recently, I think at Emirates, and I think Arsenal got a good result there. So it's really down to how the squads are at this stage, whether Forest are still going to be improving under Steve Cooper at this time, and whether if Arsenal are going to decline or they're going to find their way back up again. It'll really be down to that. You definitely want to pick up form for the last couple of game weeks, definitely. That's the most crucial time to get some big points, actually. For Bournemouth and Fulham was obviously going to be a draw. I mean, I just looked at the front line, but I, obviously didn't even really anticipate Bournemouth to be defending as well. Conceded 2 to Blackpool, of course, but right now, I understand that, but at the same time, Fulham should, on paper, with that squad, be doing better. But actually, I can't remember who said it. I don't know if it was Bloom or BENHD, but one of them's told about the illness that's been going around the camp at the moment, and it's really affected the players. And I think that has affected the players, whether it has been this flu that's been going around, because it's what I've had, definitely, and I'm still have it, but I'm really close to recovery now. But my whole family have got it. A lot of people I know have got it as well. And I know it's not COVID either, but it just seems the flu has gone really, really dangerous this year. Huddersfield were poor against this Blue Terrier 19. Their form has just not been up to scratch, to be honest. FIFA and West Brom foul for Tau. Oh, gosh. Well, yeah, but that'll be clever on FIFA's parts. OTR players, I had a nightmare for predictions recently. Since I started, my highest point tally is 8. And last time I saw, I was bottom of the main prediction league. I don't know where, because I just didn't. I did show performance for 21. I just can't remember how many points you got. I might have to look at previous saved files to find out. But right now, in terms of one thing that I will have a bit of pride on is how I've actually managed to calculate the prediction league effectively. I won't appreciate the amount of time it takes, but I've put this on me, so I don't mind doing it. You got Bamford celebrations. Bamford really did well for Leeds there. But you would argue, with the way they went 1-0 up, how on earth could they concede 2 very quick-fire goals? This is a Brentford side. They've not really been as strong as they were. Owen's also had the flu recently. Honeygun, welcome to the stream. It's good to see you guys. It's good to see 7 of you here. It's amazing, by the way. So, to reiterate what's going on in terms of subscribers. So we just gained a subscriber today. So we're on 832, 168, away from 1,000. So obviously we know the results. The rewards we get for 1,000 subs. You get a Premier League prediction league. You get a collaboration with BENHD. You get a 6-a-side game or highlights of a 6-a-side game with me involved. There's even graphics being done to the starting 11 as well, which is really, really nice as well. I was sent those graphics very recently and they look really, really awesome. I wouldn't say it like on a hashtag United's level, but it actually looks really decent. And I'm sure there's more. Oh yeah, and the second channel would turn into a gaming channel where I would post as frequently as I can. So there's a lot on the line there. But obviously, the more likely I've grown, the more likely you will see me collab with other people, and the more likely I might be able to finance myself on this, and the more likely I might actually keep this channel alive. Cool Run System's been found out, and he says he has no intention of changing it. Well, you then question, is that him being stubborn, or is that, him just believing that he's just been a little bit unlucky? Remember, we'll have some Bamford and Mendy at the bridge. Well, last time, of course, I think Bamford got the better of Mendy, but then we did well. So, yeah, do we play Leeds next? We've got Leeds, Everton, Wolves, I think, still left to play in terms of these half of games, and one other team, but I can't remember. I'm actually going to quickly check. Yeah, we've got Leeds next. Yeah, I thought so. And then it's Everton, I'm guessing. Yeah, then it's Everton, Wolves, and then... Oh, it's Brighton, isn't it? It's Brighton, but that game has been postponed due to the Club World Cup. Yeah, we're at home. Yeah, it's at Stamford Bridge. So, good defending there. We have to win. Our form has just not been... Well, we've had a lot of injuries, and I don't want to use the injuries as an excuse, but we have really, been found out in terms of our injuries. But what isn't excusable is the mistakes. You know, I don't care if we have our second or third team on the pitch. If you make mistakes at any level, you get punished. And obviously, that's what's happened recently. It caused us our draw against United. It caused us our draw against Burnley. And it's caused us our defeat against West Ham. So, I can't imagine why we're now making all these mistakes when we were close to flawless at the start of the season with, you know, not making many mistakes, or if anything, you know. You see, the thing is, part of it is teams actually really taking their chances when we make those mistakes now. But we shoot ourselves in our own foot. So that needs to be taken away. And, you know, against a team like Leeds, Everton, Wolves, you know, our standards now, that has to be 3 wins. Because I just do not see Liverpool and Manchester City annoyingly dropping points anytime soon. So the standards have to be set, and they have to be set high. If we cannot go to those 3 games and think we can take 9 points, then what's the point of trying to be considered as a title challenger? Mr. Football, welcome to the stream. You come from Derbyshire and support Forest, and I'm at Derby, and I say that for support. Yeah, it is a tough rivalry there with Derby and Forest. It's not Qpr, it's the players. They're not used to his football well. Most of them in the football and results are inconsistent. It's difficult, really, to be honest, to place your bets on what's going on with Huddersfield. Because against Barnsley, I would say Huddersfield definitely had the clearer of the chances. They have just not been able to take those chances, really, to be honest. But what I will say, the defending to Barnsley's equaliser was not great. They didn't really pick up Carlton Morris at all. And, you know, conceding that one chance turned out to be the only time, you know, they did concede a goal there. Where did I see Rafa going? Are you talking about Rafa Benitez, or are you talking about Rafinha for Leeds? Huddersfield need Big Sam. You wouldn't go down to the Championship. We had the police in our school today about knife crime. Well, good that there's actually people talking about it. Sammy. Right, that's the full-time whistle. So disappointingly, we've not had a single... No, I lie. We do have a single goal. That's the full-time whistle. And the game between Birmingham and Cardiff, it ends as a 0-0 draw. Is the door closed? Because I hear my family downstairs. What is next? So we've done Birmingham and Cardiff. Now it's Bournemouth and Blackburn. So yeah, it is at the Vitality. Yeah, I have a feeling it will be Bournemouth. But you know what? If Blackburn can get a result here, that will be an incredible result for them. Okay, just let me start the game. And I'm just going to quickly check if my door's shut. Right. There we go. Your headphones work. Right, give me 2 seconds. Right, my door's shut. They're just being noisy. Right. No, they're just being noisy. That's just my luck, isn't it? Come on, guys. I'm trying to stream here. Okay, so Bournemouth Blackburn. It's second going up against fourth. Gosh, that will be a crucial game. Chelsea are going through some bad form, but will be fine soon. Liverpool will likely struggle in January, having no Sadio Mane, and Man City will probably lose a few soon. I think Man City will win the title. They pretty much have got a full fit squad now, as long as they don't have any, you know, players out for the season. I think they'll be fine. You know, Chelsea have already lost Chilwell for the season. Kovacic has been tested positive for COVID. All of our players are just literally having limbs like spaghetti, and one bad pull of a muscle could see them out for many, many weeks. Yeah, be quiet. Oh my goodness, what a strike! Wow, what a brilliant goal that is. I think that's Jaden Anthony with the goal. It's a brilliant strike from just inside the box, right in the post and in. That is a fantastic goal, actually. So, if you look at the replay here, good bit of play. No one's really closing down, off the post and in. 1-0 Bournemouth. You wouldn't take Ole, really. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I don't think he's really going to manage for quite a while now. I think, like Frank Lampard, he's going to need to take a big break. under these circumstances, when you are in the media and the public eye for so long, you need that bit of independence. But yeah, Liverpool I think will struggle, James Macy, with the Africa Cup of Nations. And I think Jurgen Klopp had made himself frustrated about it. But even with that, they still have got the likes of Jota and Origi, who they can rely on for goals. The problem is, I don't really see any attacking players or recognisable attacking players in that Chelsea squad that I can personally rely on when we need them. You know, our goals are spread around the team, which is nice, but then, you know, it's not great when you can't really look at one player and rely on them for goals. Havertz is just not consistent, and then you've not got the likes of, you know, and yeah, just apart from that with Lukaku, I mean, I can't be too harsh on Lukaku. He's still trying to recover from an injury, and that's the point. It's you know, I just don't see it. I think Chelsea are not going to compete. Liverpool might fall, but I just don't see Chelsea having enough in there. I think that's a foul given for Bournemouth. Charlie Brown says he's Bielsa out, which is interesting. I mean, I definitely wouldn't take Bielsa out of Leeds at the moment. I would love to see Alex's face if West Ham win the Prem. You see, to be honest, I don't have that much of an issue with West Ham, to be honest, you know, because they are a team that have really just, you know, have had to patiently try and build themselves back up. What a save. You know, and West Ham have already picked up great results against Liverpool. You know, the only one that big team they've not really got a big result against was Man City. But they were close to actually getting a draw in that game. You just a favour to take out Carlos back if he's talking to Charlie there. United could jump Chelsea and Liverpool with the games they've gone in. It's 12. Chelsea's interesting because I mean, our game against Liverpool in New Year's Day is a must-win for me if we want to try and be serious for the title. But I'm not confident. You know, if I wasn't confident when we've had a full squad, I'm definitely not confident now when we've got a good 11, 12 players out from injury or, you know, suspension or whatever. You know, so I'm not really that excited in the next couple of weeks. December's always a really tricky time for Chelsea. What do I think of a Ragnarok appointment? I think it's a good appointment for United, you know, on an interim basis. I don't really think they could have found anyone better, to be honest. And I think what's good with him is that, you know, if they're serious about it, they can even approach him on for a longer term deal. And right now, I'm just thinking, if they do want to appoint a permanent manager, who on earth are they going to bring in, you know, in the summer? That's really going to do more for what Ragnarok is doing. But if Ragnarok is serious at trying to get United back into their highest levels, it's a good appointment for them. I think he's really, really passionate about it. OTR plays, no problem, you know, go if you do need to. But thank you for turning up to the stream today. Who's at the door? Oh, I think we've gone up. We've got the alphabet here. Lovely message about Arthur Lajiba Hughes. We love you, Arthur. We love you, Arthur. Yep. Great message there. Very sad how it came round to that, to be honest. Mark Jackson is doing good with players like Gerhard Greenwood and Max D. Yeah, that's good, but off the line. I do see that, but I really do not see these players being first team players. You know, unfortunately, you can use youth players, you know, for the first team. You know, we've seen at times where it has worked, like Chelsea, but even with those standards, Chelsea's standards have had to drop because of that. And Leeds' standards is ultimately surviving the Premier League, and they can't drop. Oh, brilliant cross, but unfortunately, Brereton Diaz cannot convert the shot on target. Chelsea, Liverpool and Man City is the start for January, so still not over if you get like 4 points. Well, yeah, but typically you'd want to beat your rivals around you. I know it's not the end of the world, but the problem is they're not losing to any team around the table. You know, they had gone through a period where they dropped points in that, and Chelsea have been consistent. But now Chelsea are going through that stage, and as a result of this, we're now losing ground on the top of the table. You know, sometimes to be a champion, you've got to be ruthless, and you cannot, you know, slow down your form. And we have slowed down our form. You know, in terms of the points we've picked up is good. You know, probably our best points we've picked up for quite some time, for a good number of years. But competitively, it's a lot harder. So you've got to try and beat those teams around you. Good tributes there to Arthur Legibo Hughes there. Ryan Lowe was appointed as Preston boss, says How's Joy. Yes, I did see that. And I think it's a great appointment for Preston. I did have a feeling that McAvoy was skating on thin ice. It was just a matter of, you know, I think what they did is that they waited until they felt like they could get someone in almost straight away. So maybe that was part of the delay of McAvoy's sacking. And obviously he did leave Preston, and they got Ryan Lowe in, you know, who has been doing wonders with this Plymouth Argyle squad. Okay, we got a second goal in this game. We're talking about my reaction to Ryan Lowe coming into Preston. And during that, Dominic Solanke, I think, has made it game over in this game. 2-0 to Bournemouth. Huddersfield could do with giving some youngsters a chance like John Russell and Keane Harry. I definitely want to see John Russell. I've seen a little bit of him, and I think he does deserve a chance. Should Lee Bowyer be sacked? Says Alison Choi. Jack doesn't think so. I think Birmingham are just going through a tough stage. There are some good signs there. I do like their midfield with Riley McGree, and I think when Steve Chong comes back as well, I think that'll be great as well. I do like how Deeney and Hogan are working together as well. I am interested about that. I just think defensively, once again, it's just a huge problem with them. And they've just got to be careful that they just don't give away too many points, you know. But they're still in a relatively safe position, to be honest. I think the bottom three this year, we're already getting the vibe that they're a little bit cut adrift. Which, yeah, Peterborough, Barnsley, and maybe Barnsley may be the more likely team who can recover. But with the other two, Peterborough and Derby, it's not looking like to me that they're going to really be two teams that will compete in this league this year, unfortunately. Yeah, Posh manager, yeah, Darren Ferguson. Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on him because this season, I think, you know, with the players that he's got, I do think he's got a big chance to really make an impression in this league. And right now, they're just conceding way too many goals. I even think going forward, they've dried up a little bit, especially away from home. Away from home, you know, they've not scored. I think they've only scored 2 goals away from home all season. So, away from home and defensively is what Peterborough need to work on. So, there's a lot of factors that they need to try and mend. Will a change of manager do that? I'm not too sure, but it's not like Wycombe where you could almost safely say that the team in itself doesn't look like a championship team, but at least what Gareth Ainsworth did is that he made them at least competitive near the end of the season. I could see Peterborough finishing rock bottom. Oh, off the bar. Very close for Blackburn to get a consolation. But that ends the game. So Bournemouth beat Blackburn by 2-0. You can see Peterborough finishing rock bottom. I think I read that. Well, still, even with that, you know, Peterborough would have to not win pretty much their next, the rest of the games this season. And Derby will need to have a huge turnaround. Or having said that, Derby are next. And they're playing a team that are not in great form. Derby play Blackpool, and Blackpool are winless in 6. If there's any game that Derby need to win, it's this game. They're 20 points of safety, and any chance of them breaching that gap will be a win. You know, we were praising Derby for not losing too many games. I think they only lost 2-3 games, you know, in their first 15, and now they're losing consecutive games under consecutive games. So right now, there's just not a lot. I just don't have a lot of confidence in this Derby side. Yeah, Jelly Bean, you did say that. It's a brilliant prediction on your part. We'll see if that happens in real life. In our next 2 games, we have Coventry and Bristol City. I can see that being 2 different things that drop us down to 16th. That's crazy because I remember talking about in my review that Huddersfield have fallen all the way down to 11th following their poor form recently. which is crazy following, that they were 8th place, last week. It just goes to show how quickly a season can change if you don't gain control of it. You know what I said when we ended the Bleeds asked any video games with knives, and someone said Rocket League as a game of something that has knives in. Knives? I'm sorry, but I don't play much Rocket League, but I want to know where those knives are. Definitely, he's probably looking at more or less Call of Duty or something. That's probably what they were expecting as an answer. But technically, you guys are actually too young to play a lot of the Call of Duty games. I'm guessing there's a couple that are actually in your age bracket, but there's actually quite a lot that are actually still, too mature actually. Watford, Man U, Southampton, Chelsea, Brighton, Man City in December. Yeah, that's some really tough run of games. Is that Brentford? I mean, I don't think we got... Oh, I know where we've got Brentford. We got Brentford in the Carabao Cup. I was going to say that we already played you, but now I just remembered about the Carabao Cup. Almost forgot we were in that tournament. WA, Deku, welcome. Hello, welcome to the stream indeed. It's good to see you. If Corman doesn't start changing tactics and changing his squad, we'll more likely finish in a relegation battle. I just think he's got to be a bit more pragmatic, but just be a lot sensible. Championship teams, if, they're not stupid. If you do the same thing over and over again, your people are going to out-tactic you eventually. The best, the best people and the best managers are the people who can change the way that they can play. Oh man, Speed's just uploaded. That's why he's not here right now, I'm guessing. I tell you what, I definitely do want to try and ask him to do a video soon, because I keep forgetting to try and organise that. Yeah, I mean, I can't remember when it's on, but I'll likely not be working. Well, I mean, it really just depends what's going on in that day. Right, I definitely do want to change the subscriber goal, but I'm also wary that it's just one change and anyone could unsubscribe at any moment. Excuse me, sorry. Bearing in mind that I've not coughed until game 4, that's actually quite impressive for me. Right, oh, good defending by Derby there. I see this game being very tight, I just don't think the squad for Blackpool is that impressive, if I've got to be honest. I think the manager is brilliant of what he's achieved in that squad, but I just think the squad's been a bit found out a little bit. Force need to start turning draws into wins. Swansea away on Saturday, 13 versus 14. I'm going after this game, so hopefully we'll be happy. Yeah, mid-table battle, and honestly, I think those are actually the most crucial games to get, well, I was just talking about this with Chelsea recently. It's, at the moment, the most important matches are against the teams around you. You are competing with those teams around you to try and, get into a higher position in the table. They're all fighting for the same thing. So that's why these games against teams around you is so important. For Chelsea's case, it'll be the teams, in the top 4, or top 3 maybe in this case, the teams going for the title. And in terms of the teams like Newcastle, you would look at a team like Leeds, Southampton, Burnley, those games being the most important games for them, as they are trying to get away from the thing that they all want to get away from, which is relegation. Yeah, I noticed that. I guess I'll do it now. But knowing me, someone will probably just subscribe or just unsubscribe right now to troll me or whatever. So I'll probably change the subscriber goal at the end. But normally with public subscribers, it actually is clever enough that it can change automatically. But clearly, whoever has subscribed has turned their public subscriptions off. So I'm going to have to change it manually. Good defending by Derby there. This is what I wanted to see Derby do in terms of their defending against Bristol City. If you saw the defending for their goal that they conceded against Alex Scott, it was very poor positioning. And when you've got that poor positioning, you know, it's almost like you've had team press put on in FIFA and everyone just goes on. All your back line goes to the central player and they leave gaps for 2-3 players that can just run across your defence. You know, that's literally what Derby had, and it's poor, to tell you the truth. Will Norwich stay up? That's a good question. I still think they won't, but I do think they will be a bit more competitive now, which is more than what I wanted, to be honest. I wanted Norwich to at least be a good, or I say a good, an okay team in the Premier League. Derby's going down with a fiver in the bank. Yeah, that's the chance, isn't it? That club really have fallen apart this season, and I can only sympathise with what's going on with them right now. Thanks to the 5 of you watching the stream today. If you have not hit the like button, please do hit the like button. It does tremendously help. If you've not hit the red subscribe button, please do so. It's completely free of charge. It shows your appreciation for the channel. And if we get to 1,000 subscribers, there's a lot of rewards that the viewers are able to obtain. We are 168 away from that goal, so we're not far away actually. So Owen's going through Forest's games. We've got Swansea away, Hull at home, Middlesbrough away, Huddersfield at home, Barnsley home, Arsenal and Cup, Millwall away, Derby home, Cardiff away. Then Coventry home, Blackburn away, and after my birthday. Fair enough. Yeah, but it was... Oh, what a save by Ruse. That's a brilliant save. Blackpool have come really, really close there. Do you think Rooney will stay if they get relegated? My honest opinion, I don't think so. I think he'll feel a bit burnt out after this season. And plus, I think they need a more experienced head when they go down to League One, I've got to be honest. Rooney will voice his support, but I don't think he will stay on. I just think he'll need a break. Oh my goodness me, we're just talking about if Wayne Rooney will stay on as manager if Derby go down. Well, they won't be going down if they produce goals like that. Wow, that really took me by surprise. What a strike that was. So, Blackpool nearly scored one end of the pitch, and just like that, just inside the box, I think the goalkeeper will be disappointed with that, but it's 1-0 Derby, and Max Bird scores for Derby. Yeah, on Owen's games for Forest, it seems a bit of a mixed bag. You know, it's not really people, you know, in the top 6, you know, until you face Coventry. Through ball there, and right in the other end of the pitch, Blackpool get a fantastic response. Jerry Yates with the goal. Unbelievable. It was such a dull game, and now all of a sudden we've had 2 goals in 2 minutes. 1-1. Well, all of a sudden now we're getting a little bit entertained. I should have had a tissue there. I'm literally... And as you're going to start dripping. What I will say, I think the flu has really taken my energy away. You know, I do care, obviously, about doing all of this, trying to entertain you guys. But I think the growth hasn't helped, but I think a long time of it is just feeling burnt out, really. I'm definitely going to use the Christmas time just to hopefully see if I can build myself back up again. There's just a lot more I've got to do behind the scenes in terms of the graphics and, of course, the prediction leagues as well. Excuse me. Huddersfield could do with someone like Daniel Stendhal at the wheel. I don't see him really improving, Huddersfield, I'm going to be honest. Right, that's the full-time whistle. And this game ends as Derby 1, Blackpool 1. You know, for what I saw with him with Barnsley in the Championship, it wasn't anything, you know, it wasn't anything good for them. Derby, Blackpool. You know, if I hadn't persevered with him for so long, you know, they probably would have survived a little bit more comfortably and not relied on the final day, and would not have relied on Wigan getting going into administration. Right, so the next game is Hull and Bristol City. Yes, it is. Right, so this is the next game. Hull going up against Bristol City. I mean, what I will say, I'm probably, basing it a little bit too much on what he's done previously with Barnsley. He could turn out to be amazing for Huddersfield if he came in, but I just think with his style of play, I just don't think he'll be the answer that they're looking for. I've not seen what the second tier podcast has said about Forest. They do have a load of stats that I sometimes borrow from now, time and time again. Use another Twitter account in terms of doing the XG stats. Right, quotes just coming in from Ryan Lowe. And the quote that stands out is saying that we want to excite these fans again. And that is big. Of course, Preston, their style of football has not been great. Pretty much, even when Simon Grayson coming in, his style of football wasn't even really that expressive. Alex Neil, probably first season was expressive and the rest was a bit more pragmatic. Ryan Lowe will have expansive football. It could backfire for Preston trying to learn this style, but if the players are going to thrive more under it and they're going to enjoy it more, it might naturally improve performances and results on the pitch. So I think it's a good appointment. I'll see if I can find the second tier tweet that you're on about, Owen, quickly. Hang on. Alex Neil or Neil Harris at Ipswich. I don't know if any of them would go down to the Championship. I gotta be honest. I don't even know if any of them will. Maybe a bit more likely than Neil Harris will probably do it. Blue Terrier's thinking Alex Neil. Dextina, welcome to the stream. Oh, okay. So yeah, Owen, you're talking about they're expecting Forest to really surge in the second half of the season. Maybe, based on those games you've just told me, you could argue that, some may be tricky, but they're against teams in and around their position in the table and some relegation-threatened teams. So it's all about form. It really is all about form. If they keep drawing those games, then all of a sudden they're going to run out of games to try and attack, the rest of the season. But the fact that they've recovered as well as they have done, I think, they could still have their goals set for for a really good season. Oh yeah, that's a point. Yeah, he is linked with Norwich, but I still, I don't know. I just don't think Alex Neil will just step down to League One like that. Maybe I could have said the same thing about Paul Cook, but you see, the thing is, Paul Cook kind of started a lot of his managerial career in League One. Oh my goodness me! I did not expect Hull to get a touch there. I thought the defender had it covered, but clearly not. It's a really good strike by Josh McGuinness. And Hull have taken the lead again against Bristol City this time. They are actually the most informed team, Hull City, based on their last 6 games. And they're continuing it here, 1-0 Hull. Lee Bowyer or Ishmael next manager to be sacked? It's difficult to predict who the next manager to be sacked will be. I would even throw Darren Ferguson in the mix as the next one who could go. Maybe even like Poya Asbaghi if Barnsley cannot, surge up the table. They could go through a managerial merry-go-round. I don't know. If there are things that are impossible to predict in the Championship, it's the managerial sacking. You can have a good idea based on form. Based on the current form now, I think Ishmael would have saved himself based on the performance that West Brom gave against Coventry. I think now West Brom will start thriving again. Now it's Birmingham have had a really poor form, but so have Peterborough, really, to be honest. Here's George Honeyman, and it's a second goal for Hull City. They are flying in FIFA 22 at the moment. It's Josh McGuinness again with the goal. 2-0 Hull City. When Paul Lambert left Ipswich, they should have gone for the Cowleys. Yeah, that would have been, I think, a good decision there. I think Paul Cook is still a great manager. I don't know. I think there's just a lot of expectation. Right, so 2-0 at half-time. I don't think Fergie Apoya will be sacked. You think they'll be backed? You've seen, yeah, they may be backed, but is that the right decision? That's what, you know, maybe I'm not thinking about, you know, what will happen, but what I think should happen, basically. But it's difficult, to be honest. You know, there's been small improvements with Barnsley, but, you know, right now in the Championship, whilst you've got a load of games, you can't dilly-dally for too long, you know, especially with the gap from safety as big as it is. It's a good save there, actually. It's corner to Bristol City. It's headed away. We've got a one-on-one situation here. This could be 3 for Hull City. Oh, and he's missed. It's the easiest chance of the whole game. And he's missed. Oh my goodness me. Just needed to hit the target. Forest's record is so boring. 7 wins, 7 draws, 7 losses. Yeah, well, think about it. 5 of those 7 losses came, you know, with Chris Hughton, which is quite unbelievable. To know that, you know, Forest have basically have almost been entirely unbeaten under Steve Cooper since he's come in. I just think the problem of it is the amount of draws they've had. You know, if they've not drawn as much, I definitely would see Forest, you know, being right up there in the Championship. But they need to really convert these draws into wins. Sorry for yawning. Huddersfield could do with 2 midfielders and a striker in January, but we are as skint as Derby are at the moment. Yes, well, if you don't have a really deep squad, you are naturally going to struggle to compete in this league. You know, it doesn't matter what league you compete in. Depth is one of the most important things that you need to have. But what would that go down to? Would that go to injuries? Would that go to sales and letting players go? Not enough business in the transfer window? That's what I would say you need to look into. You know, just to prevent this happening in the future, really. You know, you shouldn't get to a position where you're really looking for scraps to fill players in. You know, at the start of the season for Derby, obviously they had a poor situation. You know, they needed to have youth players to fill their squads in. Here come Hull. Oh, he's still got the ball. This could be 3. It is 3-0. Hull City are really impressive right now on FIFA, and it's Malik Wilkes who scores Hull's 3rd for the match. 3-0 to Hull. Yeah, Steve Cooper doing great with too many draws. Yeah, I would say that's the thing. You know, that's the only drawback I would say. You know, I definitely think he's made Forest a tougher team to play against, and ultimately he's improved their position dramatically. And it just goes to show, if you do have a good form, you can definitely, you know, recover your season. But I definitely think it would have even been more impressive if they hadn't drawn as much. So, yeah, there's good things, but there's also things, you know, that I do think that, you know, need addressing too. Can Hull get a 4th here? Wow, they're being so impressive in FIFA at the moment. Should Ralph Hasenhüttl be sacked? If Southampton are in intense danger of relegation, maybe, but Hasenhüttl has always found a way to get Southampton out of that situation, to be honest. The problem is we always have been a selling club and we have an owner with less money. Yeah, I think that, well, if you don't have an owner that can afford a squad. Oh, okay, so Bristol City get 1 back. Is a brilliant strike, actually. It's 3-1 now in the score sheet. Who on earth has scored there? I can't even tell. Oh, it's number 9. That's going to be Chris Martin then. Yeah, Chris Martin with a goal. 3-1. Yeah, I've just read that comment there. Well, yeah, I know Huddersfield have been a selling club, but it's just as important to invest rather or to selling as well. It's so important to strike that right balance. Otherwise, you're really going to affect yourself in the long term. J3W, welcome to the stream. It's good to see a good amount of Nottingham Forest users going to the stream. His football's a little bit like Sparky Hughes. Maybe, you know, back in the early 2000s, potentially, yeah. I would, yeah, well, I know if you're talking about Hasenhüttl, then nah, I think Hasenhüttl's got a little bit more about him. I just think he's got to sometimes be a bit pragmatic based on the squad he's got. Oh my gosh, we've got a really good game on our hands now. It's 3-2. Bristol City have just got back into it. Why is no one picking up the sports ball? They've got every chance of getting back into this. I don't even know what on earth they're doing there. But it's 3-2 now. Hanlo and Masengo with the goal. Oof, nearly dropped my remote there. Right, so it's nearly been streaming for an hour already. And we've gone through 5 games? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this is our 5th game. So after this, we'll be at the halfway stage, which next game is actually Luton Fulham, which should be an interesting game to predict. Luton, of course, doing well. Well, basically going back to winning ways, but Fulham, you know, a great team on their day. Right, that's a full-time whistle. Bristol City cannot get another goal to get an equaliser. They do lose today. So according to FIFA, this game will end Hull City 3, Bristol City 2. Right, next game, as I said, is Luton and Fulham. I think Luton are home. Yeah, Luton are at home. I thought so. We'll do traditional kits there, and there we go. Has West Brom played? No. West Brom are game 11, near the end. They've got a home game against Reading. So yeah, West Brom are right near the end. So we're on game 6 now, and West Brom are game 11. So to go through the rest of the games, okay, so we've got Luton Fulham, which is now. We've then got Peterborough and Millwall. Huge game, actually. Now, Preston's first game with Ryan Lowe. Oh, I thought that was in for a minute. Preston's first game under Ryan Lowe is against Poya Asbagi's Barnsley, where Preston do have a good record against Barnsley, actually. Stoke then have Middlesbrough, and then you've got Swansea Forest. So Forest fans, you know, you've got to wait for game 10 for your game for Forest. West Brom Reading for game 11, and final game, which is Monday's game actually, is Sheffield United QPR. Southampton are on a relegation, and it's a bit like Hughes' tactics. Well, it's difficult to put into perspective where they are, because I do think with their performances, they don't play like a team in a relegation battle. I just think they've been a bit hard done by. Harrison's predicting Preston 6, Barnsley 0. You know what? I don't think there's a better team that Preston could potentially play with a new manager for someone like Barnsley right now, who are still trying to figure out terms with their new manager. They're not entirely confident, and Preston do have a very strong record against this Barnsley team. You know, against Ishmael, they drew 1-1. I think that was the one of the very few times when Preston couldn't beat Barnsley, actually. Right, Luton doing okay at the moment on the ball. So Henry Lansbury trying to get past the block midfield. Here's Harry Cornick. He does get there first before Tim Ream. There's a ball, good defending by Adoy there. And it's booted away. Well, looks like we're not really going to get too many uploads from many Championship YouTubers. I mean, we did have the upload from Matt SB quite recently. But apart from that, nothing from BENHD, nothing from Benjamin Bloom today. I mean, well, I say that he's got a stream coming with the Ipswich, but he's very busy for what's going on with Benjamin Bloom at the moment. They're still looking for a new manager for Ipswich Town. Forest 78, Swansea 0. Yes, oh yeah, that's right. Steve Cooper will be playing against his former club, so that'll be interesting. If anything, that makes me think it'll be a very quiet game, actually. I think it'll be I think Swansea will be determined, but I think it'll actually be very low scoring. But away from home, Swansea I don't think are particularly strong. Frankie McAvoy reaction about his sacking. Not surprised. To be honest, I do think he probably should have been sacked a little bit sooner. I think Blackpool, was the big game that I remember that they needed a change. And I think very soon afterwards, of course, Preston got that result against Bournemouth, and they probably thought they can't sack McAvoy just after a result like that. And obviously, it's just been a bit up and down. They got a great result against Fulham. And, they're doing well against the teams, high in the Championship. I think they got a draw against West Brom as well. But then against teams around them and against teams below them, they're not really doing well. And those teams are the most important teams for Preston to pick up wins against. BENHD did the process sagging. Yeah, that was yesterday, though. Can Tyron Woodley get revenge on Jake Paul? I mean, I've not really looked too much into it. I'm going to say no. If he hasn't prepared as much as he has done for what I know, then no, I don't think he will. Jake Paul, will just refuse to get handed over, which is why I'm waiting for a proper boxer to fight him, to be honest. Right. That's the half-time whistle here. I was about to say full-time whistle there, but that's half-time. So Luton 0, Fulham 0. Interesting circumstances there. Jacob, welcome to the stream. In fact, you should be very excited because Peterborough will be coming right after this game, actually. Preston are allergic to bottom half teams. Yeah, I mean, that's what I've pretty much been saying. Doing well against top half teams, but bottom half teams, they're not doing well at all. So maybe, arguably, Barnsley might actually be a tough game for Preston, based on the form that they've been playing at this season. Right, so we've got another half of football to play with Luton and Fulham. Let's see what they can make out of this. We're in a halfway stage already, actually, in terms of this stream, which I didn't expect for the stream to be going that quickly, to be honest. Thank you guys for the 9 of you watching here. Thank you guys so much for watching here. If you've not hit the like button, please do hit that like button. It does really help the stream. If you've not hit that red subscribe button, please do so. It is completely free of charge. It just shows that you're appreciative of the channel, and obviously we have our goals. 1,000 subscribers is when I award a lot of you guys with a lot of good perks and new content, and yeah, it will definitely help the long-term future of this channel as well. Paul Cook should have got the Bristol City job. I tell you what, that's not a bad job for Paul Cook, but I don't know. I just don't think. Maybe just didn't appeal to him, because I think it was made available to him at one stage. Creeper boys in good spirits on Damari Gray. Yeah, that's right. You're an Everton fan, aren't you? Great result, which I actually think was a little bit justified based on the amount of times Richarlison had a disallowed goal. Oh, good save. Wow. I tell you what, I think maybe Luton should have taken their chance a bit better for there. But just like us when we're in the Prem, get points against the big teams, but get hammered by the small teams. Yeah, but it's important, because I'm going to keep reiterating these points. It's more important to pick up points against the teams around you rather than the teams that you're trying to aspire to get to, really, to be honest. Ipswich was a huge risk because, yeah, I guess so, it would have been a huge risk, but I think it was Ipswich being very ambitious, with the success he's, brought to the teams he's been with, I don't think he's, well, no, I lie. I said he's never been promoted out of League One, but that's not true. He has got promoted out of League One once with Wigan, but that's the only time he has been promoted out of the League One. He spent his career with Chesterfield and then obviously with Portsmouth. Did all right, but didn't get them promoted, of course. And Wigan, I think, was just a squad too good for League One, which is why he got them promoted. Cooper Boy's trying to say my pronunciation is wrong. It's Richarlison. Well, others say Richarlison, other people say Richarlison. So, alright, I'll say that. Gosh, I don't know. This is the problem when you have a beard. You know, you got such an itchy nose. And Griffin backed Cook. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people would have backed Cook. But obviously, I actually think a lot of it is down to the squad. I think just being a little bit like a Football Manager team, you know, just or FIFA team, you know, way too many transfers on big wages, and it reminds me a bit of QPR in the Premier League. I would say it's just too dismantled. Gosh, there's a thunderstorm going outside. Right, that's the full-time whistle for this game. So disappointingly, once again, no goals. So according to FIFA 22, this game will end Luton 0, Fulham 0. Okay. I completely forgot what's next. Right. So next is Peterborough. And I can't actually read that. My eyes are going blind. Peterborough Millwall, that's right. I remember now. So Peterborough going up against Millwall. And Millwall doing really well with their form. Now, what kit can I use there? I think I'm going to have to go with this to avoid a kit clash, to be honest. Yeah, we're going to have to go with that. There's too much of a kit clash there, so potentially Millwall may go in their third kit, I think, in this game, but we don't have the third kit in this game. Do I know Alex Griffin? I know exactly what his face is. I see him all the time on my Twitter page. I'm pretty sure he's an Ipswich Town supporter as well. Definitely have seen him around in my Twitter page. Of course, I've not spoken to him or met him, of course. But yeah, I do know who he is. Right, so game 7. We so need a win in this game. Oh, that's an understatement, Jacob. That is the biggest understatement I've ever heard. Yeah. So right now, if you don't win this game, you know, it'll be very, very likely that Reading and Hull will pick up a good result. Hull are home to Bristol City, where Bristol City have lost 3 away games in a row. Reading have West Brom, so maybe they may not get a result. But even then, you know, Reading have picked up some good results against big teams. You know, Fulham being one of those teams. So it's not beyond the realms of possibility for Reading to get something either. And we've just talked about Peterborough needing a win. They've just scored in this game right here. So at the moment, they're 5 points of safety. It's Sammy Smodics, my favourite player at Peterborough, actually. He has managed to score for this team. Brilliant goal, actually. That's literally exactly what I've been missing. 1-0 to Peterborough. You see, it's well and good FIFA predicting this, but this has to happen in real life. This is exactly what needs to happen in real life. Millwall aren't an easy team now that you can play up against, though. They have really improved their form very, very recently. Right. Okay, here come Millwall on the other end of the pitch. And just like that, Millwall have equalised right the other end of the pitch. They weren't behind for long. It's Jed Rollis with the equaliser. And just like that, we could have a game on our hands. 1-1. Well, I think that's pretty much to sum up Peterborough United's season. Arteta should be sacked. He's in Arsenal, Steve Bruce. Well, yeah, Arteta is still... A lot of people are undecided on Steve Bruce, really, to be honest. Steve Bruce, Arteta. And I think, personally, for what we've seen, the difference when you've got an experienced manager like Ragnarik over Solskjaer, the difference is night and day. And whilst, you know, former players, you know, taking on managerial roles is good, they need to build up their credentials. And I think this is what Steven Gerrard has done perfectly. He's taken a couple of years at the highest, well, I wouldn't say at the highest level, but at a really good level of expectation with Rangers Took them a bit of time, but eventually got them to be very, very competitive. And following this, he's now got a winning mentality and he knows what to do to prep a team. You know, that showed me when Aston Villa managed to win after coming from behind again. Well, it showed me this when Aston Villa managed to beat Leicester. They didn't actually come from behind, I don't think. They may have done, but I can't remember who scored first, to be honest. Right, so if Peterborough win this game, they would be on 19 points of 22 games. Yeah, still under a point a game though, which is not encouraging. You really need a point a game to really try and what do you say? To try and survive the season, really. I think that's what you should get minimum. Aston Villa would beat Chelsea at Villa Park. You know, to be honest, I would more or less argue with that. But we lost to Dean Smith with Aston Villa last year at Villa Park. And at the moment, I know we're doing all right, we're pretty well this season, but with how depleted our squad is now and just how the injuries have really taken over our season now, it's difficult because any team now that, you know, you can see are not at their strongest, and, you know, with our form not being great and not being entirely confident, teams are going to pounce on that. We do play them quite soon though. It's the first team we play in terms of the second round of games. Yeah, we played them in December, I believe. Right, so 1-1 at half time. Well, we'll see. You would hope that Thomas Tuchel can get the better of Steven Gerrard. No disrespect there, but it's going to be a close game. I'd say it's going to be tricky. I don't want to be this one that predicts all these games, to be honest, you know. Especially based on the injuries we've got. Right, so guys, there we go. I'm back on this. Thanks to the 6 of you watching the stream. Well, 13 likes actually, that's not too bad. If we can get to 20 likes, that will be a brilliant achievement for the stream. Thank you, guys. Klopp or Tuchel? Well, I'm always going to say Tuchel, but obviously I've got a good amount of respect for Klopp as well. But I'm obviously going to say Tuchel. That's a silly question. If Klopp was Chelsea manager, you know, obviously I would pick Klopp. But no, you know, I'll be unbiased, but when it's my team, you know, I'm going to be as much biased as I can. Is it now? Well, thank you, Harry. Oh, it hits the roof of the net. Cornell does well there. Corner to Millwall. Still 1-1, so very much any team's game to lose still. Who is visiting my house at this time? Right. Okay, good play by Peterborough here. They're spreading the play. Oh, they lose out though in the crucial position, and that is going to cost them. A bit disappointing that Goldbridge didn't stream his United Stand thing today. Maybe he had things on United Stand. In fact, I'm almost concluding that it was whatever he's had at United Stand, or maybe he just needed a break. Nah, he had a press conference. Ragnarok, why did you have to do the press conference today? Lampard should be appointed as Scotland's under-21 boss. Well, I know Lampard definitely wants to work again. I just, you know, it needs to be right for him. You know, he needs to, you know, feel like that he's backed. He wants to be working with a good squad, obviously. Any manager would. So, I don't know whether he should be a youth or, well, a youth manager. Well, yeah, maybe a youth manager. But probably not from a national team, I would say. And Lampard has just got to be very, very careful where he steps. Because I do think, you know, whilst Chelsea was a good deal that he couldn't turn down, I do think it has definitely held him back from his future managerial career. Right, there's a corner coming in, I think. No, it's a goal kick. Oh my god. Norwich or Ipswich? Don't really think of either of them, to be honest. They're both around East Anglia, you know, which is pretty much the county closest to Essex, you would argue. Oh, Ben's just uploaded. Right, well, Ben's just uploaded at a different time. He's doing unpopular opinions. Ah, yeah, he did put a poll on this. Well, I say a poll. No, not a poll. He did put a post on it. I didn't put mine, though. Lampard should be Birmingham boss. I would love to see Lampard back in the Championship. It would be good to see... you know, him with a really good team, with a good project. Yeah, I have just seen that, Harrison. It's a bit of a problem because it means I'm probably going to lose viewers here, but whatever. Right, I think that's a full-time whistle. So Peterborough do hold on for what could be a very crucial point. So according to FIFA 22, this game will end Peterborough 1, Millwall 1. Right, I don't even know what's next. So after Peterborough, it's Forest. Yeah, Forest play away. In fact, no, I'm completely wrong. I completely forgot Preston have now got to play Barnsley first. Then it's Forest, I think. No, Forest is the one after that. I can't count. Right, but first is Preston Barnsley. That's game 8. Let's go with that. Imagine, Birmingham... Well, imagine how good Birmingham Derby with Nance and Stevie G. Yeah, it would be. It would be immense. But I think, well, Steven Gerrard won't go down to the Championship now. You know, he's joined Villa. But what I will say, could you imagine the Midlands Derby if Birmingham have to play Villa and you've got Lampard for Birmingham and Gerrard for Villa? I think that's probably what you were trying to tell me. Well, I can't really imagine that. Well, one, you know, Lampard's not Birmingham boss, and two, neither are in the same league. Wow, what a start by Barnsley. So Preston, of course, I've got a new manager in charge of Ryan Lowe, but it's not gone to the best of starts as well, as Collie Woodrow has headed Barnsley into the lead. 1-0 Barnsley. What a start this has turned out to be. Oh my goodness me. God, it's weird streaming on a Tuesday. Normally at this time I'd be in the university, but actually, in terms of attending university, that's actually now been concluded, but the term has not ended until the exams end. So that's when I know that it's really nearing the end. Is it 8 games? Yeah, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, this is game 8. So after this, we'll be 2/3 of the way through. Have I commented on Ben's video? Well, no, because I would have to listen to what he's saying and, you know, then put a comment down. But, nah, I don't think I'm going to be honest. You know, it's not me, you know. I'll definitely watch Ben's video in my own time. But right now, as I'm streaming, you know, there's not much point. Did I break anyone's leg in the Sixers side? Well, I'm not going to disclose until we get to 1,000 subscribers and you can see yourself. What I will say, there were people that had to sit out for a bit, you know, to deal with injuries. And there have been some crunching tackles. So, you know... There's a lot of roughness there, but in what extent you won't know unless, you know, we get to our goal and you guys will see it for your own eyes. I may or may not even be involved in the other end of a tackle, so you just don't know until you see the clips yourself. Obviously, if whatever's happened has not affected me too much, you know, I've not lost anything and I'm still fine now. But, you know, after the game, you know, just knowing how I was, you know, I think it's definitely important. Well, you guys won't know until you see it, I guess. Oh, what a save. Have I played football against BENHD? Nah. Don't live anywhere near close to have any local six-a-side games. You know, Ben and I almost literally live in the other side of the UK, so there's not a chance. Yeah, and Harrison, you're asking a silly question now if I like Callum Robinson. You know my feelings on Callum Robinson. Oh, thank you guys for liking the stream. I think, yeah, we're still 14 likes. If we can get to 20 likes, that would be appreciative. If you've not hit the red subscribe button, please do so. It does help. Have I seen him in person? Nah. Don't even think he's ever been to Chelmsford. So, you know, there's not a chance. I've not, and I've told you this, well, I've told people this before. I've never, you know, stayed up north anywhere. You know, I've probably driven up north before, but never have gone to like a pit stop or whatever. And I don't think I've even touched Lancashire, to be honest. Never been to Blackpool, never been to Blackburn, never been to Chorley, you know, where it's pretty much there where Ben's from. But yeah, I've not really touched that area. No, yeah. But I've not seen him in person. Yeah. Not Callum Robertson. No, there's not a chance I'm going to see him in person. There's not a chance. Yeah, no, I've not seen Ben in person. No, not at all. Neither have I seen Benjamin Bloom. Never have I seen Matt SB in person as people as well. You know, I've been fortunate enough to collab with Ben Bloom at the start of this year. I've been fortunate enough for Matt SB to involve me in one of his videos, but that's pretty much the only intent that we've done. You know, in terms of Ben knowing who I am, you know, he'll know me as a Patreon. You know, he wouldn't really know me for anything more. You know, that's how he'll know my name. Well, to be fair, he'll know about how I've started my channel. You know, he's aware of all of that. But right now, the longer that I don't get to this 1,000 subscribers goal, the more likely is that, you know, this collab is just not going to go ahead. But the only hope that I have is that if he keeps the Patreon scheme as long as it is, you know, he's intended to get a long-term future there. Could you do a Football Manager game? I don't actually have Football Manager on my computer. I know my brother does, but once again, at the moment, I'm at the stage where I'm just doing work over games, to be honest. You know, I wanted to do more of the Colchester career mode, but due to studying, it's been very difficult for me to keep up with that. But maybe next week is when I can start posting that again. Like, for instance, my assignment is on its way done, and then after that it's just exams and then dissertation, and that's it. Ooh. Right, so Preston Barnsley, still 1-0 Barnsley. Apart from the early goal by Collie Ridgero, it has been a very quiet game. Although here come Barnsley again as I say that. Bit of space for Woodrow. Oh, he has been played onside. Good bit of play, good defending. Excuse me. Poor pass there. Can Preston counter-attack? Doesn't look like it. Preston look like that they've defended very, very well. Man, I can't even imagine how bad I'm going to be at FIFA when I start playing it again. It's really going to be awful. Do I think Burnley will stay up? I think, yeah. I think so. I think it'll be Watford, Norwich, and either and either Southampton and Leeds, maybe. Brilliant question by Charlie Price saying, what's the dissertation on? So my dissertation, for what I think I've picked, is looking at different accounting standards in 2 countries. So there's a whole forensic board that holds standards, which is basically rules on how to account for things. But then these standards are applied differently, or these rules are applied differently in different countries. So I'm going to look at French standards because it's very easy to do a compare and contrast paper on it. So I've got the theme, but I've not even started research, and I've not started, the analysis part of it, which that will be the most time-consuming part of it, and I've got to do. It's got to be due into middle of May, pretty much. So I've still got about 6 months, but it's that will go away soon. Right, that's the full-time whistle. So Preston lose to Barnsley with their opening game in charge with Ryan Lowe. So according to FIFA 22, and then Preston 0, Barnsley 1. So next it will be Stoke Middlesbrough. Yes, Stoke Middlesbrough. Stoke and Middlesbrough. I just don't think Watford have got enough, personally. I might be wrong, but I don't think Watford's got enough. I think they will go down eventually. Burnley, Burnley's the weird one. I think Norwich and Watford for me are almost confirmed. It's just a matter of whether if Leeds will be that team or Burnley will be that third team. I just don't think the current bottom 3 is going to stay the same, I think. That's what I think. So we are on game 9 here. So after this we'll be at the 3/4 stage. I started my diss way too late. I wouldn't recommend it doing to yourself. Well, what do you mean by too late? Do you mean a month before handed in, a week before? Because if I'm going to start it, because I'm already thinking, right, I might do it start doing it properly next week. Oh, good save. But surely you would think 6 months is more than enough to start it. But that is, it's difficult because I've got a part-time job as well with that. Obviously, I want to try and do the best I can with the exams that I've got next week. Also, I want to try and keep this afloat as well. To keep going, to actually get to 1,000 subscribers, which we are 168 subs away now, I've got to be as consistent as I can. And I've not really kind of lived up to that promise at the moment. But I've done it to the best that I could. But to you younger viewers, if you're not too sure what a dissertation is, it's pretty much a huge project that you do right at the end of your degree. Includes a methodology, analysis, literature review. There's a lot of wordiness that goes into it, and there's a lot of research involved too. I definitely think I'm gonna think of starting it properly. I think either by next week or maybe even over the holiday. Right, here comes Stoke, who are now in the top 6 following a great win last Sunday against QPR. Can they get a good result against Middlesbrough? Middlesbrough are trying to break away, but it looks like that it's recovered by Stoke well. They're doing quite well right here at the moment. Here's a chance off the post. Wow, that was very, very close. I started writing about 2 weeks before it was due. Started reading about 2 months before. You've got plenty of time. Right, okay. That's a bit reassuring for me to hear that if I've got plenty of time. So, I've already got the idea or the thing that I want to do. I've got a pretty good idea of how I want it to look like. It's just now actually grafting out the research, the work, and making sure that I can now start applying it. That's literally what it's going to have to be, because it's really difficult to start it. It really, really is. But as soon as I actually get on a good rhythm, I actually think I will be able to go through it quite smoothly. Right, we're back to 6 of you there. Maybe that's all the people that have left to watch Ben's video. I'll definitely be watching his video in due course. Just not whilst I'm streaming. For what I will say, you know, we've had a couple of really good goal scoring games, but overall it's been rather disappointing again. But I think a lot of it's down to the minutes that I generate for this game. But quite frankly, I want to leave, you know, at a really good time. You know, I mean, for one, I'm really, really hungry for a start, so I really, really want dinner. Right. Ooh, I tell you what, Middlesbrough playing out from the back a little bit, being a bit risky at the moment. So to reiterate, guys, after this game, we are going to have Swansea Forest. So the Steve Cooper reunited with his former team. Those are the words I was trying to say. West Brom against Reading, and then finally Sheffield United QPR. So yeah, we're going through these games rather smoothly, actually. And just like that, that's the half-time whistle of game 9. So it's Stoke 0, Middlesbrough 0. So Stoke at the moment are a team that probably would want to try and cement their place in the top 6, you know, with the next current games. Although they have got to go against Middlesbrough, a resurgent Middlesbrough under Chris Wilder. Maybe not quite playing at their best at the moment, Middlesbrough, but they are improving and they are starting to understand their system of play now. God, I can't tell you. Charlie telling me that I've got plenty of time has definitely made me a little bit more calmer in terms of the whole situation. I'm here for the Forest game. Can you do starting 11 rundown? Yeah, I mean, if you mean that I'll just look at the starting 11 for what FIFA's put down as the starting 11. I mean, yeah, I'll quickly do that for the next game. I mean, it will be straight after this, actually. Stoke and Middlesbrough. Gosh, I really should have brought a tissue, shouldn't I? Right, well, oh, there we go. Tavernier getting in from behind here. Oh, it was taking a bit too long. Stoke looked like they've defended it well, but Middlesbrough do well to win it back. Spora, well defended. God, this is feeling. I've got the feeling of a draw in this game. W.A. Diku with a brilliant question saying, "What's my best hidden talent?" Hidden talent sounds like almost like a guilty pleasure talent, to be honest. But I would probably say, I mean, is it hidden that if I've told people before that I am a musician and I've played up to 5 to 6 instruments, you know, is that really, really hidden? I mean, I've not played on camera, but I have told all of you guys about it before. In terms of other things, you know, I've not really broadened my horizons to know anything else that, you know, I've not really told anyone else. Okay, here comes Stoke going forward here. Oof, well defended. Gosh, it's really back and forth this game. Oh, a bit of an opening there, good save. One for rare openings in this game and it's well saved. It's still 0-0 in this game. Okay, here's another chance. It's another brilliant save by Lumley. Lumley is keeping Middlesbrough in this game. I was going to say a draw was probably going to be the fairest result, but now I think Stoke, you know, might deserve to win this one now. Middlesbrough clear it. Bats against the wall a little bit now for Middlesbrough. It is Stoke who've been the better team. Another brilliant save by Lumley. He's been absolutely worked hard in the second half. Only 15 minutes left for Middlesbrough to survive. Can they counter here? It could be a 1 versus 2 situation here. Now they lose out the ball way too easily. And I appreciate you guys still... I thought this might be a goal at some point. I appreciate you guys still holding on to the stream. I appreciate that. You know, it's near the end actually. We're not too far away from it. Final 10 minutes. Can any team get a winner? Is Sporar now giving it to Matt Crooks. There's not much of an opening. In fact, there's a runner there, but they're not going to go to him. Through ball, not quite good enough. It's well read by Stoke. And now here comes Stoke. 5 minutes. So now comes Sporar for Middlesbrough. So going to give it to Johnny Howson. Back to Marcus Tavernier. There are a couple of options, but they're not quite performing the right rated pass. We're into stoppage time now. Sporar. Oh, it's good defending. You can't quite get through. Stoke are just going to run the clock down. And just like that, that's the final whistle. So according to FIFA 22, this game will end Stoke 0, Middlesbrough 0. Right, so next is Swansea and Forest. Let's do that now. Yeah, there they are. Right, and since I've been requested to do this, I'll look at... I can't look at their squad. Well, in fact, I guess I can look at their squad when I start the match. Right, there we go. Oh, I need to select a side? Really? I didn't even know you could do... Oh, really? Well, I guess I'm sorry, Charlie Price. I didn't even know that I can't do that if I've not selected a side. Where do I see myself in 10 years' time? That's a question and a half. By 10 years' time, I'd wish I would have a proper job and I'll be earning a good amount of money. Where I'll be doing YouTube, it's tricky, you know, because to be honest, you know, even in the next 2 years, I don't even know, I'm not even too confident that I'm probably going to be able to keep this going, especially if I'm not going to finance myself from it. Honestly, the sooner I can finance myself from YouTube, the more likely that I am going to keep this channel long term. You just wonder as I don't have FIFA 22. Alright, well, hopefully we can look into the players' names. But my camera's a little bit in the way of that. Right, Jamie Patterson's trying to run forward for Swansea here. Cross comes in. Oof, it's well defended in the end. So we're in game 10 right now. Oh, before I forget, I actually need to change my subscriber goal. We're still in 832. I'll do it now. Goal amount, 1,000. Starting amount, 832. Start goal. Done. There we go. Saw the line up at the bottom. Ah, okay, fair enough. Oh yeah, they have like they have a scroll. They have scrolling text. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So in the first 25 minutes, still no goals. Who's my favourite woman YouTuber? I'm not falling for that, Blue Terrier. I nearly fell for it. I love you guys at this time, you know, hoping that I get tired and delirious and I don't see through this. I just remembered the last time I'd been done by that, and then I had to literally say the name in my head before I even read the full comment. well, I've not heard of it. I've definitely not heard of it, and I think that was what that is what made me suspicious that it was not going to be anything appropriate. I would have likely have known it. Yeah, nearly caught me out there, Blue Terrier. It was a nice try, but following what happened last time, I got really like outrageously baited, and I still can't get over how outrageously baited I was. So obviously, I'm probably going to be a little bit more aware now. Yeah, it was a woman player last time. And then, obviously, nearly the same thing has happened again, but I had to read the name in my mind before I said it. Right, disappointingly, Swansea and Nottingham Forest, nearly 45 minutes it's over, and it's still 0-0, which is disappointing. We've only got 3 games left. And nearly 20 minutes, it's 6 o'clock, which I tell you what, the stream is going very quickly. Right, that is half time. I was going to say 2-0. 0-0 between Swansea and Nottingham Forest there. Steve Cooper returning to Swansea. Swansea's still a little bit... in fact, no, Swansea are actually lower in the table than Forest are, but they are only separated by 1 place. So, honestly, it couldn't be any closer. But you would feel that if Steve Cooper was in charge, Swansea would be doing better for what they are doing right now. I appreciate the 3 of you still around. If you've not hit the like button, please do hit the like button. It does tremendously help the channel. But most importantly, please do hit that subscribe button as well, as it's completely free and it really increases my chances of keeping this channel long term. Right, goal kick. I think Ben's now uploaded now as well. He's doing his thing on he's doing his thing with Ipswich and Norwich, I think. Right. Oh yeah, I was going to say, I was thinking why is the goal changed, but then I forgot I changed it myself. Which other Championship managers will leave this season? I think Corbett might be in danger, but I'm also thinking Ferguson eventually may go. If Hull go on a really bad run again, then maybe McCann. I think McCann was in danger, but then obviously he's pulled out some great form in the bag. Espaghi, if he doesn't improve Barnsley, I think will be in danger. Bowyer maybe could be one, but it's a shame what's happening with him. What a save! Forrest, I think, definitely should have scored that. It's a brilliant save by Steve Bender. If West Brom really fall away from trying to get into the top 3, maybe Ishmael could also leave. It's really just down to the expectations and the form, isn't it? I'll be a bit surprised if Rooney doesn't leave, but I think he'll leave at the end of the season. I think Panovic will stay on, even though, you know, things are not quite going his way this season. I think Panovic will stay on. I think he's working wonders considering for what Reading have gone through. Okay, we're in the 73rd minute here. Let's see if we can make a difference. And Brennan Johnson could just be that player. Cross comes in. Header, it's saved by Bender. Zinkernagel can't quite make the difference there. Oh. Only 2 shots in the entire match. That's very poor. We've really not had some impressive games. You know, probably take away Hull and Bristol City, our 5-goal thriller. That's been the only really big game we've had for FIFA 22. Oh my god. Right. So we've only got 10 minutes somehow. Jeez. Come on, you Reds, says Charlie. Well, they've definitely come the closest to scoring in this match. You know, Samba's not made a save to make, which I think is surprising, because I think Swansea will definitely have more of the ball in this game. And maybe could score 1 goal, maybe even 2. But it's down to Forest whether they can break effectively and just prove to be troublesome enough for this Swansea team. Because obviously Swansea, with them being very attacking, they are also very open too, which was heavily exposed with their recent results. Right, 90th minute in now. So Swansea may be the most likely team to get something now, but I don't think they're going to have... Or for having said that, here's a chance. Piero! It's a save by Samba. Great clearance by McKenna. And just like that, Swansea nearly lick it. But according to FIFA 22, this game will end Swansea 0, Nottingham Forest 0. Right, what's the next one? The next one is... my memory's gone. West Brom Reading, that's it. So West Brom and then Reading. You take a point? Well, potentially, yeah. But unfortunately, I think Forest are in an awkward position that they're not losing a lot of games, but I just think they're drawing way too many. No problem, Charlie. It's always appreciative. You know, I'm still not feeling well, but you know what? I did want to post something on this channel, so definitely I wanted to do that. You trying to bait me again, Blue Terrier? Because I've never heard of that name. I think sometimes if I'm seeing unfamiliar names, I've got to put a good Google search. Honestly, he is an actual manager. No, yeah, Barry McCall, Keener. Yeah, he is a manager. I think... Because then I've just put him out to Google and Shrewsbury has come up with him. Maybe he's linked with Shrewsbury. Right, header, and it's over. God, it looks really good on my TV, to be honest. Thanks to the 4 viewers? No, 2 viewers on the stream. I don't know why it said I've got 5 viewers on Streamlabs. It's nowhere near the viewers I've got now. So here come West Brom. Robertson with a poor pass. It's well defended. Now what can Reading do here? Ejaria now. Reading just looking a little bit comfortable at the moment. You know, they're not playing any risky passes here. Although that's a brilliant tackle. And Robertson can race through, but it's well defended again. Diangana now in the right hand side. Not many people free in the box to receive it. W.A. Deku saying should be 1-0 up. I think I was just reading Blue Terrier's comments and I didn't see the chance. But yeah, it looked like that there was a really good chance there. Right. Reading keeping a lot of the ball. So they're going to go long here. Colin Townsend's going to be very careful. And it's brilliant defending by Townsend. Colin Grant is very, very deep in the pitch. Can he find a killer pass? No, he's going to go back. Okay then, Robinson to Grant in the left-hand side. Good defending in the penalty box, and it's going to be a corner. So we're 27 minutes in. This is the penultimate game, by the way, of this stream. It's well defended by Reading there. Grant to Furlong. Grant again. Robinson. Robinson still, and it's a goal. Callum Robinson has taken the lead for West Brom. They went close near the start of the game. Reading did defend well, but then they didn't really close Callum Robinson down effectively, but some great skill by Robinson takes West Brom an early lead. 1-0 West Brom. Oh my God. Sometimes I've got to lead to, sometimes I've got to show a stretch. Yeah, that was a classy goal. Yeah, Robertson did very, very well there. What can Reading do now to respond? I tell you what, they're trying to respond. They're going through the right hand side, bit of space, but good defending by Livermore. Robinson, the goal scorer, is going to give it to Grant. He's now going to give it to Townsend. So it kind of stuck on the left-hand side. They're trying to go more centrally now. Grant again, but he loses out on the ball. Right, it is close to half-time. Can Reading get a goal? It doesn't look like it. Townsend's having a brilliant performance at left-back. God, only 9 minutes till 6 o'clock. So 15 likes, which I actually think is a little bit decent actually for the stream. So thank you guys for liking the stream. Right, so we are near the first. Well, we're near half time. There we go. So 1-0 West Brom going into half time. West Brom will be looking at this game, thinking that they probably really should go all guns blazing for that. Their running now is not really that bad at this stage of the season. Do I think Fulham or Bournemouth will slip? It's difficult for me to think that, because I just think both those teams, in terms of their quality, in terms of their organisation, I just think are better than any other team that I can see. I would have a feeling the team that most likely is going to be able to slip might surprise you, but I actually think Fulham are more likely to slip than Bournemouth are. For what I've seen with Bournemouth, I just think that Bournemouth have just got enough options, and I think Bournemouth, with the fact that a lot of their squad still is fighting for fitness and they're still churning those results, I actually think they've got the best squad, Bournemouth. With Fulham, once they've got the lot of quality going forward, I do think maybe, if they have one tough game, confidence at defending may be questioned. I just think that experience that Scott Parker has in the Championship, I just think has edged Bournemouth a little bit. Through ball coming in. Oh, Johnston does very, very well there. So, for what I feel, I don't think so, W.A. Deku. But if any team is going to slip, I actually think it might be Fulham rather than Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth are, to me, my favourites to win. But the difference is that Fulham have got an incredible goal scoring machine in Mitrovic, who will just score goals for fun in this level. But Bournemouth, to me, have got the most complete squad that they could. It's ridiculous how well they can play and not have their first choice fullbacks and defenders either. Right, oh, good play there. West Brom could have another chance to get in the box. It's a chance. It's defended well. And that's Moat on the ball. Here's Robinson, back to Moat. Bit of skill. Okay, Robinson. Back to Moat. Gosh, there's a lot of passes going into the box. Not going anywhere. Yeardon doing what he can to defend this. It's well defended by... It is well defended. Now here comes Halovic. Puskas now. I don't know why Puskas is starting, but... I guess that's down to the game. What I should see Andy Carroll, I should see Danny Drinkwater, I should see all these players. Okay. Here's Diangana. It's going to be Grant to Diangana. Right, can he lay off a good cross like he normally does? Oh, it's a strike, but it's well saved by Southwood. We're in the 77th minute here. God, I'll tell you something I do got to do later as well. I've got to put my Christmas tree up. I've not been able to put my Christmas tree up yet. I've just not been able to celebrate and get excited from Christmas yet. But naturally, I think the excitement, it rubs off as you get older. You know, so to all you young guys watching, you know, just enjoy Christmas while you can, because eventually it'll rub off you. You've got taxes to play, you've then got work to go to, you know, these things then just take a bit more priority. Too many teams in the race for automatic promotions are dropping too many points to have a chance to catch up. That's what I'm thinking. I just think Bournemouth and Fulham have got so much of a gap, it's really going to be tricky. And with the consistency of the top six, just, you know, with teams dropping points left, right and centre, it's going to be very difficult for them to get back into this unless they have a good bit of consistent form like what Bournemouth had. You know, it's, you know, you do get that in the second half of the season. I do understand that, you know, but it's going to be very tricky for it to be fulfilled. Right, that's the full-time whistle. So according to FIFA 22, this game will end West Brom 1, Reading 0. So that is game 11. We've only got one more game left to predict, and that is going to be Sheffield United and QPR, which will actually be played on the Monday. I'm guessing that, yeah, I could do red and blue there. That'll be fun. Okay, so there we go. So the last game for FIFA 22 to predict is Sheffield United against QPR. You know, I am excited though with the teams up there though. You know, I'm happy to see Stoke in the top six. You know, Coventry being up there is very, very refreshing for me. QPR up there, you know, is very refreshing as well. You know, all these teams we don't traditionally see in the top six, which I think is really, really encouraging. Now, Owen was talking to me about second podcast or second tier, thinking that Forest could have a good second half to the season. I think there should be a lot of questions asked about Sheffield United as well, because under Heckingbottom, it does feel like to me that they've got a lot of confidence, they've got a bit of a bounce. What I'm going to be interested in is Heckingbottom's first defeat as manager and how Sheffield United respond to that. QPR win incoming, says WA Deku. Maybe. I'm more or less thinking a draw, Sheffield United win at the moment. I think QPR, you know, they had a very strong form, of course, but I do think, you know, maybe their squad's been a bit stretched, a bit exhausted. Sheffield United will be feeling happy that they've got, you know, this bounce that they still have. They've won 3 games in a row now, so, and it's putting them to 10th place. If they get a good, if they keep that streak for a good 3 or 4 games still, with which what I mean 3 or 4 wins more in a row, then they will push for top 6, and that is how quickly your season can change if you get good form. But the Championship is always very difficult to keep your form, you know, which is why it's such a gruesome league to get promoted from. You've got to be very, very consistent. Bournemouth and Fulham have just been another level of consistent this season, and then the rest of the teams have just kind of been left behind. You know, thinking about West Brom, you know, a team that have lost 4 away games in a row, they're 3rd in the league, because the rest of the time their consistency's been incredible. Which just goes to show, you know, the levels that you can get to, you know, with those sorts of results. Here comes Sheffield United. Good defending there. It's well cleared. Right, what's my Discord saying? Oh, I might just quickly check this chance. Right, it's well defended. What's my Discord saying? Oh, it's Ben's channel there. Yeah, nothing important. Right now, looking like with his FIFA game, that Sheffield United look they're more confident, but it doesn't safe to say that FIFA's going, that real life's going to have the same outcome either. I've already said that FIFA's had a couple of good prediction weeks, but most of the time they have a very poor prediction week. And they did have one last week as well. I think they only had 2 points this last week. Right, we're nearly at the half-time stage. If it weren't for Carl and Grant, I think we'll be 8th or 7th. I've got to say, I'm surprised with Grant because he was someone that I was a little bit... I don't know. I just wasn't confident with his goal scoring at this level. But then I almost completely forgotten my first season of doing YouTube in the Championship that Carl and Grant was scoring actually quite a lot of goals for Huddersfield before he moved away to West Brom, obviously. And, you know, back in the Championship, he's actually scoring those goals again. I thought he'll be a bit rusty. And he was a bit rusty to start things off, but as soon as he scored his first goal, he has brilliant form. And yeah, I would agree. I think West Brom would be worse off if he wasn't in the squad. You know, similar with Mitrovic with Fulham, similarly with Solanke with Bournemouth. I think all these strikers are very, very important to the team in their own way. I tell you what, I mean, having said that, I know West Brom, I'm saying, you know, I'm completely out of it. I've only just thought about this now. Because West Brom won and Bournemouth and Fulham didn't win, they're only 6 points behind Bournemouth. You know, which is actually not awful, to be honest. You know, it's not possible to breach that gap, especially if Bournemouth have got a tough run of games. But it means that West Brom will have to capitalise on that as well. Right. I'm definitely going to blow my nose after the end of this stream. I've been doing well not to be feeling too rough and keep the energy as much as I could. Right, here comes QPR. Good skill there, and it's a goal. We were talking about that Sheffield United were by far the better team, but they did not take their chances. QPR with their first chance, they've taken it. Lyndon Dykes with the goal. 1-0 to QPR. Right, I'm not going to see the replay. I just want to get the game done. 60th minute, this will be a crucial time for them to score. We've just been streaming just over 2 hours. Do I go to any Chelsea games? The honest answer, no. I mean, a lot of it is down to the pricing being absolutely ridiculous, but also it's just the timing, and also I work on a Saturday as well. So there's a lot of reasons behind it. You know, I am determined at some stage to take my brother to a Chelsea game. You know, it would have been a really, really nice birthday present for him, but I'm glad I didn't actually give him those tickets at that time because he was actually ill on his birthday, so it would have been a waste of a lot of money if I actually got into that. But I think definitely when uni's done and I've got this more independence, you know, more money, this freedom, definitely I will be going to more games, because I think the experience is going to be absolutely unforgettable. I would literally love every single minute of it. Right, we've only got 15 minutes left in terms of the FIFA clock. Sheffield United now need to try and go to the other end of the pitch. It's a long ball there. Oh, it's well defended by Adoma there. Now right, we're back. Literally, nearly a flawless stream without any disconnections, and that has to happen. Honestly, that is so frustrating. Nearly a successful connection-less stream. Amazing. Right, that's the full-time whistle. So the final game that FIFA 22 is predicting, they're predicting Sheffield United 0, Queen's Park Rangers 1. Right, so we streamed for about 2 hours 7 minutes. thank you guys so much for watching. That is what FIFA 22 is predicting. So you will see this footage in my score predictions video on Friday. Hopefully by that time I should feel more well enough to do it. I know, literally so late that I can't believe it's nearly gone through a whole session without me being disconnected once, and right at the end it has to do it. It's unbelievable. You couldn't write this stuff. Right, I guess I'll have to wrap it up for this stream today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed it, please give the stream a like. It does tremendously help the channel. Please do hit that red subscribe button if you've not done so. It does really help if you do that. But really important, guys, please do share this channel, because that is how we are going to get more likes, more subscribers as well. And we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as we can, so if we can get that, that will be absolutely amazing. It will help the future for this channel. So that'll wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are legendary. This is the end of the stream. And as always, I'll see you guys very soon. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you guys soon.